real quick. What's dumb is that AI artists photo of an ambulance.
Anyone else want some action?
Park and
With unsalted peanuts and hard-boiled eggs.
Need the juice!
Bye, bad guy!
Alright. What was I saying before about Unity? Something about Unity. Right. So another reason why Unity has like a higher standard of business practice. So there are multiple types of models, but two of them are, one of them is business to business, and the other one is business to consumer. So like Chipotle, McDonald's, something like that is business to consumer, right? You are basically selling a product, and the product is the end product. Business to business, you are, for example, you sell a product that is then sold to somebody else and turns that product into a different product, but then they do it again, or they sell that product themselves, right? And so components, materials, tools, etc., right? So in business relationships, the level of trust and accountability has to be higher because in general, there's a lot more serious behind those transactions. Like, for example, if you go to McDonald's and like, you know, you didn't have the food you wanted, you can't go to McDonald's, right? But like, if you were going and you buy a deal with like, let's say a shipping company, and they're supposed to ship over 10,000 boxes, and you get 8,000 boxes, that's a big fucking deal because this could have been so I think that's really the big reason. Well, $5, McDonald's is more now. Look, I mean, I was talking, you buy small stuff. So yeah.
I need some ammunition!
Yeah, basically, it's easier to fuck other businesses because there's a higher standard of trust.
No ammo stuck to the shooter.
You can get scammed out $5 right? Yeah, sure, but like that's usually not happening. And so, yeah, that's just how it is. It's a lot. Well, basically, Adobe had a bunch of oopsies for years.
Congratulations, bring back.
Adobe is simply a symptom of a problem, and that licensing on digital ownership. The entire idea, I think, is and I think that right now, especially with the licensing that we have, there is no reason for it to exist in the way that it does. So yeah, there's the video right there. Give it a like.
Yeah, I got no rounds.
The most profound moment in gaming history. Yeah, I'll look at this. I don't know what this is.
I made videos on various
No
topics, but by
fair!
far the
I
most
don't have anything to kill
centers
with!
on video game analysis. What I think made them so popular is that instead of being your usual video game review, I have focused primarily
No fair! I don't have anything to kill with!
ways. Most recently, in fact, I've been
Need to
putting
round
forth
up
the
some
argument
rounds.
that video game narratives have demonstrated such sufficient profundity that they sometimes have matched the greatest stories told in other mediums. To continue our
I
collective
think video games can be really great stories. I mean, there's good examples from Final Fantasy. A lot of people love that one. There's a lot of examples of this. Warcraft 3, yeah.
celebration of our modern-day digital mythology, I would finally like to give full attention to a game which, I would argue, has the most profound moment in gaming history. I refer to the final codec conversation from Metal Gear Solid 2. While I have done several videos on Metal Gear Solid 2 in the past, I have never given full analytic attention to this specific moment. The main reason why is because somebody has already done so. My all-time favorite YouTube video is titled The Most Profound Moment in Gaming, MGS2 AI Conversation Analysis. Though it was released almost 9 years ago by its creator, Logo Steve, I pondered for a while how I might do a better job than he did. However, given our current cultural context, I believe I have a few other worthwhile things to contribute. The advent of subjects like fake news, resurgence of rampant political correctness, and our tendency towards online tribalism has imbued this conversation with a much deeper sense of meaning.
Well, I love this picture. These like cute little birds, and one of them has a sign that says "die." Oh man, this is great.
To those who consider themselves gamers but have never played a Metal Gear Solid game, you are obligated to at least listen to this final conversation. Not only will you be enlightened by its philosophical and its implications, as I have been.
Excavator Epsilon, control restored.
Not unlike the way life started in the oceans. A pace of evolution. We are the very disciplined. Americans invoke so much. How can anyone hope to eliminate us? As long as this nation exists.
Metal Gear Solid 1, and in Metal Gear Solid 2, Raiden learned that his kernel was in fact an artificial intelligence, manipulated by the mitigating question refers to the AI's desire to control the human race, controlling the spread of information via the press and the internet.
That sounds pretty. I could see how something like that could happen. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see about that too. We also have to contextualize this. This is like serial experiments land.
When I'm done, you'll be nothing but a pile of maggots.
Kind of similar to this, and like didn't land come out in like 1998 or like 99 or something like that. Yeah, Wabak with the. I feel like
Time for a fire sale!
Right now. Let's assume right now there is no way Kojima did not like to be 100%.
We'll focus on that in a moment. During the first part of this presentation, the audience learned how the AI.
Well, the point that I'm making is that there are a lot of other examples, like movies, things like war games, stuff like that, that came out around this same era that explore the same idea. Is that the idea of like AI, and at that point, people didn't really have a lot of technologically, like Matrix, yeah, was a great example. A lot of the people didn't really understand like what AI really could be, or would be, so you had a lot of basically science fiction about it. And it's kind of weird that a lot of the science fiction ended up being true.
Came to be, and surprisingly, it is similar to the way human beings as a species came to be. Unlike the origin of human life in the oceans, the AI's quote-unquote life had its basis in American idealism, hence the AI's referencing of the White House as a symbol. In the mind of the AI, their purpose is to push forward American values, things like freedom, equality, and healthy competition. However, Raiden points out what should be an obvious contradiction in the AI's thought process, that the AI wants to take away those freedoms via censorship.
Cut the crap! If you're immortal, why would you take away individual freedoms and censor the net?
I do not like defending crap.
Not only are the AI...
Wow.
Oh, never mind. Zombie!
Damn, that is crazy.
You guys just wanted an easy way out, right?
Aspects of controlling information, but they're going to do so in a very condescending manner. As we move on, I
Just
suggest
like
that
Twitter.
you, the listener, pay attention to how the AI demeans Raiden. Their pomposity is intrinsic to the argument.
The mapping of the human genome was completed early this century. As a result, the evolutionary log of the
Hey
human
guys,
race
found a
is-
bring-back
We
investigation.
started with genetic engineering, and in the end, we succeeded in digitizing the cell
swing in here,
Genes don't
or
contain
find
any
some
record of
ammo.
human history.
Is it something that should not be passed on? Should that information be left at the mercy of nature?
We've always kept records of our lives through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books.
But not all information by later generations. Like to the whole was selected and processed, then passed on. Not unlike
What the AI is trying to do here is illustrate how genes function similar to how memes function. If genes are, quote, a unit of heredity which is transferred from a parent to another, and is a characteristic of something like an ethic, a fact, or an opinion that later generations inherit. Genes are also subject to a process called natural selection. If certain organisms
Something that's not funny into a meme. Oh my god, because they try to do it. They try so fucking hard. It's like it doesn't matter how many fucking reservations they put pictures on, they still don't want to have sex. They just sit around and fucking die. That's natural selection. Apparently I have heard that pandas are now on the come up again though, which is, you know, after Mr. Pandara.
adapted to their environment than others, then their genes are passed on to the next generation while others have the potential to die off.
Yeah.
Similarly, if certain memes seemingly hold the same logic, then supposedly they survive better than memes that do not. But
There's a lot of memes that everybody knows. It's like also you have, the thing is, memes were not created by the internet. Memes were coined on the internet and referred to as memes. Memes got invented. Richard Dawkins invented the word meme, and I think his book is in 1979, called The Selfish Gene. And yeah, remember like the fucking atheist guy. Well, anyway, this is way time ago, and that's basically how he described what memes were. But people didn't really use the idea of memes until the internet came out. And anyway, memes are genes. Memes are you can like I don't want to get into the metaphors of it, but point is that there are a lot of memes that happened before the internet. Things like putting the sunglasses on and being able to see the real truth and shit like that. Like the Matrix, like the red pill, all that stuff. Like this was like whenever the internet was coming out, but it was still used as a term for it. And memes were created with like popular culture and like media and shit like that. Jumping the Shark, yeah, they lived. There you go. Even in like the 60s. Like for example, like think of like all the memes that probably were happening in the 60s that people had in their mind. Was it 70s? I forgot which one. But shit like that.
Bush's main on genes is the nature of the selection process. Genes are more or less subject to the amoral discretion of nature, but means can be analyzed and weeded out via moral discretion. However, the AI now illustrates how natural selection of genes bears a unique problem in the internet age compared to the past few centuries.
But in the current digital
reduce the rate of evolution.
Such as journalists, editors, and academics to manipulate information to fit their various political policies, but at least there was some selection process going on. In the age of the internet, however, information is released so fast that it is impossible to have a discussion. Instead of listening exclusively to reporters, we are left to our own devices to derive what is valuable, except unlike the curators in the pre-digital age.
Which I think is a good thing. I think that the internet version of media is better than the previous version of media. I absolutely think so. And thank God for that.
age, the general population does not know how to separate the wheat from the chaff. We will
Yeah.
focus on small, trivial issues like this rather than macro issues, such as the cumulative monetary debt of the Western.
Well, because people don't know what that is. The people don't understand math. Like, it's not complicated. Yeah, they just don't understand math.
World. We will only listen to news sources that confirm our pre-existing political leanings and ignore any challenging voices. Apologetics for censorship? I am not. I will not censor information under any circumstances. But what would one do in respect to the destructive influence of human bias?
You seem to think that our plan is one of censorship.
Maybe it's not.
You're being silly. What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
Create context.
The AI argues that because they are not prone to human error, they would know how to separate information to the human race in a way that doesn't slow human evolution. Their average mind, which might censor information that is inconvenient to their cause, the AI would simply way possible so that political bias would not intervene, thus cooling political tensions across the political spectrum. Of course, if something like the AI censorship program came into place, ethical questions would arise. Well, ideally, human beings should have the ability to make their own decisions, no matter what mistakes they follow. In response, the AI
This game are probably like, yeah, okay, alright, what's next mission? Like, next mission, let's go. Yeah, I need next mission. Like, yeah, people had no idea what any of this shit was.
Oh my, look at all the zombies.
freedom supposedly necessitate censorship.
The digital society is humans. We can have truth.
That's
Just look at the strange juxtaposition of reality around you.
Billions spent on new weapons in order to humanely
Did this
murder
all
other
have been a
humans.
dream?
Rights of criminals are given more respect than the price of freedom.
Although there are people suffering and dying, huge donations are made to protect endangered species.
true.
Everyone grows up being told the same thing,
Be nice.
but beat up the competition.
You
Time for a fire sale! Better not be selling cheap knockoffs.
Various ways in which human error corrupts. That human error arises from an instinctual drive to protect ourselves emotionally and physically, which truth is a threat. For instance, let's say a religious fundamentalist is confronted with various scientific truths that challenge their worldview. Let's say the fundamentalist
Yeah, if that happens, you just, I mean, they're lying. God put those dinosaur bones in the earth to test us. To test our faith, to make sure that we'd still believe the Bible, even whenever there's dinosaur bones in the earth. Yeah, Satan put those dinosaurs in the earth to make us think that fucking like it was older than 6,000 years old. But you read the Bible, you know what it is.
loses
Yep.
faith when confronted by those truths. What happens psychologically is that because the fundamentalist no longer has a belief system to make sense of the world, they are thrown into a mental pit of confusion and resentment. That loss of structure and certainty is so painful to the ideologue that it seems it would be better to avoid that feeling at all costs. This instinct is endemic to almost all human beings. This is why we separate ourselves into political tribes and won't consider the ethical implications of our positions. For instance, is it right to be pro-choice or pro-life? Instead of considering the validity of either side's argument, the pro-life crowd will chastise the pro-choice crowd as being on par with murderers, and the pro-choice crowd will chastise the pro-life crowd as being misogynist, religious zealots that want to control women. These low-resolution assumptions exacerbate tensions between political.
Well, here's the reason why all this stuff happens. It's because most of the people that are talking about it are fucking dumb. Like, that's the reason why it happens. This is not like a super hard to understand thing. Like, if you read what a lot of these people are talking about, they don't even know what they're talking about. Like, and this happens all the time. Whenever there's a person that gets challenged on what they actually think, they're out there at some fucking convention and they're screaming and yelling, and you ask them, what do you think about this? Like, how do you feel about it? And the more you ask them questions, the less they know.
Piece of crap.
They're just dumb as fuck, man. It's people are stupid. The thing is, you gotta remember, it was not that long ago that all the boys were getting together. Like, you know what they used to do? My dad told me about this. His parents did this a little bit before his time. They would bring out even the families. This would be a family affair. And you know what it would be for? Lynching. That's right. Be a good old family affair. And then before that, yep, hanging somebody, absolutely. And then before that, throwing witches in the water. Before that, the church was executing people. They set Jonah Ark on fire. It's because people are fucking stupid. Like, that's the reason why all this stuff always happens. How is it that these things keep happening? Because people are fucking stupid.
Parties and can potentially
Jonah Ark? He's the guy, remember in fucking Wolf of Wall Street? Yeah, that fucked his cousin?
Time for a fire sale!
to violent conflict. Most people will avoid these difficult conversations to preserve order, but if you ignore them long enough, political positions become cemented. People will kill each other before they admit that they're wrong about something. The AI then presents a future where human bias corrupts the flow of information.
My opinion on all of this is like a very, like, kind of like a philosophical viewpoint, is that I don't even think that people really care about being right or not. They just care about winning. So, like, being right is only like it's an afterthought that makes you feel better about winning, but it doesn't really matter. Like, people, like, at the end of the day, look at every animal. Why do animals kill each other? Because they want food. It was not the right thing to do for the lion to kill the gazelle. It's not the right thing to do for a lizard to eat a fly. It's just what they do. Because they want the food, that person is food, that thing is food, so they eat the food. That's it. Everything else outside of that is all like a fucking intellectualization of that primal desire. That's what
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger forum.
Damn, what the fuck? Kojima, what the fuck? God damn, this is 2001? Oh my god.
They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different
Truth
cardinal
social.
truths neither clash nor mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
And this is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
Yep.
As we saw in the 20th century, whether it is with Hitler's fascism or Stalin and Mao's communism, the ideologically possessed would rather kill millions in the name of their ideology rather than consider the arguments of their political opponents.
I disagree on that completely. I think that the reason why Stalin and Mao killed all those people is because they hated them in battle. You kill those people because those people disagree with you, and they serve to put you at risk. Yeah, that's why they went to go kill them. It had nothing to do with the ideology. The ideology is the intellectualization of the power struggle.
This type of attitude in its nascent stages in the digital age, whether it's calling everybody who disagrees with you a racist, sexist, homophobic Nazi, or a West-hating communist, this attitude is pervasive throughout social media, forums, and comment sections. This type of inflammatory language has further polarized our political climate and has resulted in violent clashes. In the mind of the AI,
Oh, by the way, this video was 3 years ago it was made. It's gotten even worse now. I've read studies and statistics about this.
is due to the fact that we insulate ourselves by staying inside our little ponds and casting all outsiders and dissidents as bad people. If this continues to happen, who knows what violent, oppressive future might manifest. Unlike the reality of MGS2, where a supposedly benevolent
matchmaking time.
hard decisions for us, our reality might become a sort of Orwellian nightmare, which
We talked about this forever. I mean, the reason why 1984 and Animal Farm are so popular is because there is like an element of truth in what they do. There's a very big element of truth in the way that they're formed, everything like that. Yeah, it's already. And I will say that there are some people that are mad about this video. I'll read some of these. People in the South equals racist, unpatriotic, and want to control women. This is gonna be long or just boring. It's not boring for you. You're mad because you're disagreeing with this. You're not bored. You're mad. Lynching in the South, other fine searchers, we need to nuke the whole South. We found the idiot. Well, at least he's got an accurate name, Dark Bull. There's no light on anywhere here. Absolutely right. All 37 minutes ago. What an idiot. Okay, let's see here.
the AI wants to prevent.
We're trying to stop that from happening.
It's our responsibility as rulers. Just as in genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out to stimulate the expression of the species.
And you think you're qualified to decide what's necessary and not?
Absolutely.
I'm
flying! The sea of garbage you people produce, retrieve valuable truths, and even interpret their meaning for later generations.
There it is.
That's what it means to create context.
I want to remind you all that Metal Gear Solid 2 came out in 2001. This game warning us about the advent of fake news, misinformation, and half-truths roughly 2 decades before the issue captured our collective attention. Worse yet, not only did the AIs describe a potentially dystopian future for both our reality and the reality of the game, but they also inadvertently realized that we currently have no constructive solution to the problem. The only tactic available at the moment is for individuals to strengthen their moral compass and call out misinformation where possible. However, given humanity's inherent imperfection, even the best of us
The
are...
problem with misinformation is that misinformation is often referred to, if things are often referred to as misinformation whenever it is inconvenient. It's like, oh, well, this part is misinformation. Like, oh, this is oh, saying it this way or interpreting it this way. Yeah, I don't think so. It's a buzzword that makes people feel like they're justified to censor things.
prone to mistakes. Worse yet, instead of bolstering the best among us despite their mistakes, we will feverishly the mistakes of our opponents for political gain. We see this quite vividly in what has been aptly termed call-out culture. For instance, it is thanks to this culture that there is no host of the Oscars. It is thanks to this culture that people will be fired from their job over a tweet they made years ago. A person...
Yeah, well, the call-out culture and stuff like that, I think the real problem is not really call-out culture. The problem is after each other in real life. That's really what the issue is there. Because, like, calling out a tweet is totally okay. It's the fact that people use the platform to attack people in real life. That's where the issue is. So, like, in my opinion, I think anybody who promotes this kind of stuff, this should just be like an auto. Like, anytime you try to like attack somebody in real life because of something they did online, I think this is a very bad thing.
Might even be fired for a tweet that was taken.
By attacking real life, you mean Discord gets fired? I think both. Social media, it's better for everybody if people can't do that.
It is thanks to this culture that we will elect politicians not based on their ethics or policies, but on how effectively they can punch the other side.
Well, it's also the reason why it's... I think people usually vote for politicians based on how much they don't like the other side. That's it. You don't need this. We inspire people like me. I just want to say thank you. Have a good stream. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad to help. And I try to... It's odd for me to hear that. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, so exactly, that's what it is. It's a game for people to thought of. Yeah, I mean, I've heard about I think this is a big issue. I think the reason why people vote or the accessibility of their ideas is very, very easy to understand. That's why somebody like, I think that the problem, a lot of people were mad at Donald Trump, not because he called people Lion's Head, Crooked Hillary, fucking Sloppy Steve. They didn't get mad at Donald Trump because he did that. I think the real reason why they were mad is because it worked. It fucking worked. He went there and he used these first-rate insults, and he was calling people stupid, talking about how big his dick was on a national debate stage, and it worked. And that is a fucking reality for a lot of people who don't think that that's what it really is. Because, yeah, it was entertaining. It was the truest crowd. That's why it worked. How? Worked by making him the president. He won the election. He did not win the popular vote. Yeah, so I think that's really what it is.
Emphasize, we have no solution to this problem. Solid 2, however, a hypothetical solution is presented because people good. The AI go into more detail regarding this solution as the conversation goes on.
The problem is whenever people think that they are the only one, they can force their own justice and extends beyond.
However, that analysis...
That's what happens whenever somebody goes out of their way and gets fired. And I know that some people think, oh, well, it's good that people that are racist are getting fired. And it's like, yeah, I can see why you say that. Yeah, keep in mind that, like, the only thing you have to do, whenever you create a system to oppress people and fucking shit on them and hurt them, the only thing you have to do for that system to be used on you is wait. Things always change. Things are always different than they were before. And the people that were in power will not be in power, and the people that are in power will not be in the future. That's what always happens.
Watch out for the
Don't
knee
open
fighter.
that door.
Have to be saved for the second part of this video. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked this video and understand the importance of this today, please share it around. Also, I implore you to check out Logo Steve's original video, The Most Profound Moment in Gaming. 9 years later, it is still my favorite YouTube video of all time, and I think you get a lot of value out of it. If you want to see my other Metal Gear related content, please click on one of the videos you see on screen now. Hey, like that, or maybe consider subscribing.
Okay, alright, we can watch the part 2 for it. Yeah, please give this a sub. This is such a well-designed video. I think that, again, it's so incredible. It is incredible. At the same time, it is not quite as insane as
That
you might
wouldn't have
imagine,
happened if you
because
guys
back in the early 2000s, again, there was so much popular media and social media, not social media, but social media discussing the idea and the implications of, like, what really is AI. What is, like, the information age where people can just, like, go on the internet and say whatever they want. Like, it was very popular, whether it's Serial Experiments Lane, The Matrix, fucking, like, I think it was one of them that just popped right into my head and explored that idea. And then also you had things like, you know, like Logan's Run, things like Clockwork Orange that had happened before then, Blade Runner, let's see, Soylent Green. A lot of these movies all went to explore different shades of the same idea. Terminator, 12 Monkeys, 12 Monkeys, Bruce Willis, going back in time. Kind of, yeah, I think so. Minority Report, yeah, but that was like way later. I'm talking about things that happened in the 2000s, like Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, that's why I said Ghost in the Shell is probably my favorite video, just to watch that all the time, every day it came out. Let's see, back over here, Dystopian Society movies. Yeah, there you go. And there's a great video game adaptation of I Have No Mouth and I'm a Scream Truman Show. No, different. All right, we'll watch the second part
Crap,
of it.
man. How many are there?
Allow me to summarize the main arguments from part 1. Patriot AI argues that in the internet age, the flow of information has become far too complex and grandiose. The natural outcome of this overabundance of information is that human beings, on account of their natural fallibility, are unable to separate factual and
Never
non-factual
mind.
information.
Zombie!
Information that is at best incomplete, and at worst, filled with outright lies. On account of our
It is so funny. This really fucking happened. Yeah, this actually happened on Twitter.
tribal instincts, our political biases, our emotional fragility, and flawed intellect, we will potentially embrace information that conforms to our worldview best, rather than information that is true. In the era of fake news, this has undoubtedly been demonstrated as fact. As we build up economic political ratings and the AIs propose a framework to create a system that controls human consciousness, a system that balances of human beings. Though such a system is repulsive to myself and hopefully many of you, the AIs will demonstrate how human beings might abuse their freedom so much that such a system might be inevitable or
It's so exciting. I love this stuff because I feel like we are going to have the craziest next 30 years probably than ever before. It will be the most ridiculous shit that's going to happen.
Yeah,
It's going to be so fun.
as the main character Ryder so clearly proves.
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
But is that even your own idea?
Or something Snake told you.
That's the proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications
That's
to
a good way to
exercise
save ammo.
Never in my life have I heard an insult as cutting and condescending.
picked on
Put
the
aside
wrong
just for a
marine!
second whether
Hurrah!
quote, free will is a valid concept. To say that somebody lacks the qualifications to
destroyed.
exercise free will suggests that their personality is entirely constructed by outside forces. For example, if you believe that abortion is an unethical practice or an ethical practice, did you come to that conclusion yourself? Did you put together a bunch of arguments from opposing sides and decide for yourself what the
No, you just read the headline where it says abortion's bad, and then, you know, it was written by your favorite multi-billion-dollar corporation, so, I mean, they'd never do you wrong. I mean, shit. I mean, of course they would. They made all that money. I mean, I mean, it's just that simple, guys.
best answer was? Or did you hear one person's argument and close yourself off to opposing arguments, much like an ideologue tends to do? In regards to Raiden, the AI goes on to demonstrate that he, like billions of people on the planet, tend to embrace ideas and actions not necessarily based on their adherence to truth, but rather based on how effectively they promote a certain way of being. This goes back to
It is just reinforcing their life. Like, that's it. A lot of people think that they're rich because they deserve it. A lot of people, they're poor. They think they're poor because the system's out to get them. Why? Because it makes them feel better about where they're at. It's just that simple.
criticism of philosophers and beyond good and evil. They are more trying to
Go for me, that cute little
this is
girl.
why fake news exists. This is why echo chambers crop up all over the internet.
I don't like, I usually am not a big fan of that because I feel like this is like onion argumentation where like you can always pull, like you can always find more layers to it, and it can also be applied to even the person who is applying the logic themselves. So it's like you're
Need the
going
juice!
into these, like meta levels of biases without actually engaging in the ideas.
Despite the wealth of information available to us that should allow us to live in accordance with truth, it is because living in accordance with truth is building a sense of free will. But people choose to embrace falsehoods in order to protect their sanity. Raiden then desperately protests that he is not allowed to different.
That's not true. I
Exist inside of you.
That which you call self. Self is nothing more than a matter of your own being.
Something used to preserve those positive emotions that you occasionally feel.
and other that endow you with a sense of strength. Explain it to him.
Jack, you're simply
I got no
the
rounds.
best. And you got there all
Eat
by
shit and
yourself.
Up until this point in the game, Raiden and the player believed that their successes were achieved entirely by their own merit. However, the AI revealed
Time to
that the
die.
entire mission was structured in a way so that Raiden could succeed as long as he obeyed orders. For Raiden,
Time for a fire sale!
mercenary but rather a clueless villain that manipulates the world. However, when the AI offers the more ideal fiction to Raiden that he is simply the best, that the insult has its greatest
Double
impact,
points!
Raiden cringes and holds back a scream because he sees the truth inherent in the AI's argument. That argument being that Raiden is not his own person. His actions and emotions are all controlled by a higher power. He's not Raiden. He's not even Jack. He's something else's creation. The AI then go on to show how Raiden's lack of self is endemic to people.
I think this is something that's generally true with a lot of things. Like, for example, again, you have a lot of people that are rich who think that it's because they work really hard. People that are poor think it's because they're lucky. Like, that's just what happens. And this is like the eternal struggle of people trying to justify what they have. And I think this is a huge problem that people have. It's a big issue that people have to find a way to justify why they are in the place they are. Elon was not lucky. What I think people don't understand with the word lucky is that lucky is not something that just refers to somebody's, the consequences that they have, or things that are obvious. I think there's a lot of other things that, like, you never really think about. Like, you have if you're born in Nigeria, you've got a worse chance at things than if you're born in, like, let's say, Switzerland. Okay, and that's just the way things go. If you're born in China, you're probably going to have a much harder time at being able to express yourself and be a political activist than if you're born in Portland, Oregon. That's the way things go. Also, like, there are people, like, I think in general, there are different dispositions that people have. Some people are better at reading than others. Some people are better at math than others. Their brain thinks and works a different way. So whenever you narrow down somebody's parents or something like that, I think this is a very narrow way of looking at it. Because, like, for example, I got very lucky with a lot of things. For example, you know, I'm not massively overweight. I'm not sick. My parents were both, college educated. We're relatively decent at talking. All of these things are not also, I got the internet very early on. I was on the internet very early. These are all things that make me lucky. There's a billion people in the world right now that don't have the internet. Every single one of you guys is luckier than they are. But there's always a conversation of, like, how much of somebody's success, or how much of who they are is actually the reflection of something else. You see what I'm saying?
Why not try a bit of soul searching?
Don't think you'll find anything, though.
Ironic that although self is something that you yourself fashion, something goes wrong, you turn around and blame it on something else.
It's not my fault. It's not your fault.
It is what it is.
You simply resort to true in order to make yourself feel better.
This is, that's why I said, like, this is what I thought with the fucking all that Kanye West shit. Like, oh, it's the Jews. Oh, it's the Jews. The Jews are doing it. Because it's very easy to go and blame a group of people because, you know, your life isn't in a good position. It's so dumb.
Behind
You
you,
see a lot
the so-called truth you once embraced.
Once again, the AI demonstrate how people will gravitate to quote-unquote truths, not because they are based entirely on empirical fact, but because they satisfy the instinctual need for structure and stability for argument's sake. Let's imagine somebody who has spent half their life advocating a belief that the Earth is flat. People believe it is round for territorial reasons. Let's say the flat earther is presented conclusive information that proves the earth is round. If they accept that they were wrong, that would mean they spent over half their life advocating falsehoods and manipulating impressions of take upon their soul. If they don't accept that they were wrong, they will accept more truth to protect their emotional persona. Presented to them was doctored, and that the person presenting the information is a government shill.
Yeah, it's actually the government wants you to think that it's flat, but it's actually round because they actually have a space base on the moon that controls your brain. But they want you to think it's flat so you don't think the moon is real. Yeah, there's like, again, more layers to this.
Conspiracy theorists, but anybody with a political position. This is the reason why millions of people continue to advocate for political systems despite their proven track record of killing millions of people. This is why people still uphold certain...
I would argue that every political system kills millions of people because the political system doesn't kill millions of people. People kill millions of people. They've done it for all of history. People have killed millions of people.
Superstitious beliefs, despite their scientific invalidity. This behavior is not relegated to a few irrational individuals. It's something that everybody does, regardless of their political position. I do it, and you do it. And worst of all, in a democracy, the emotionally fragile have a say in what is truth, which the AI shall now criticize.
This is absolutely true. Yeah, people that get upset about something or offended over something, and now everybody has to walk around in fucking padded rooms or padded suits around them because you don't want to actually offend them. So I think that the problem is that too many people in the world live their life at, like, the biggest fear that they have is shame or guilt. Like, that's what they're really afraid of, is getting embarrassed or being shamed or feeling guilt for doing something bad. And I think that's why people hold on to stupid ideas, is that it makes them feel guilty or shame or something like that. I think that's how people control themselves. It's not because they have, like, it's not an emotional thing, it's that they don't want to feel shame or guilt. Because if you don't feel those things, it doesn't matter to you, it's fine.
Should someone like you have the right to decide?
You've done nothing but abuse your
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smoking.
Because the AIs grew out of the White House's quote-unquote primordial soup, they recognize the inherent value of freedom and the responsibility that comes along with it. In their mind, Raiden and billions like him take all the benefits of freedom without accepting any of the responsibility that comes along with it. Instead of using their freedom to seek out
That's
truth...
like people that go around, they eat a bunch of food, they're 600 pounds, and then they die. Yep. You can do that.
I only have a knife
Wouldn't
now.
recommend it, but you could do that. Yeah, I mean, no, there's plenty of people that do that. It's the same with people that do drugs and shit like that. They get really into, like, they drink alcohol, they become alcoholics and shit like this. It's the way it goes. Absolutely, people don't know what to do whenever they have decisions. Whenever they can choose to do something good or bad, they'll just do something bad.
that foster the human race, they resort to partisanship and ideology to make sense of the world. Instead of being introspective and considering the potential faults in one's position, they will cast the blame elsewhere. The result of this is stagnation, and soon afterwards, violence. This extends not just to our leaders, but to ourselves.
The individual is supposed to be weak.
Okay,
Far from
no
helpless.
ammo.
A single person has the potential to ruin the world.
Hey, gorgeous, I'm Tank.
Building a legacy
That's the fighting spirit!
That's
We
nice.
are your guardians, after all.
You want to control human thought, human behavior?
Anything can be quantified nowadays.
At this juncture, I feel the need to repeat something I said in the first video.
That's
I
so
am not
good.
for censorship or controlling information whatsoever. whatsoever. I think the ultimate conclusion that the AIs come to is wrong, even if they were right. I am certainly not giving up the ability to control my own life and make my own decisions, but put aside their conclusion and consider whether or not their arguments are wrong. Do human beings consume fake news and accept it as truth? Do billions of people hold beliefs that are objectively wrong? Do atheists and fundamentalists negatively influence our societies? If the 20th century...
I love how you know what a really great example of this is astrology. There are so many people who unironically believe in astrology. I can't even believe that they believe in it. But oh my god! And it's like,
Better when I'm
in my opinion, something that has no evidence, and there's no like fucking proof of this. It's not, quantifiable through the scientific method. Nobody should be under any obligation to respect it at all. Absolutely not.
Infected. One bad idea, and maybe even one bad isolated from the world. In the same more likely, anybody can build up a large enough following to influence millions of minds. You don't even need a large following. You can just overtly produce a system like the AIs are proposing. When AI inevitably comes to be, no reality could see its reflection in the reality of Metal Gear Solid 2. For the sake of time and brevity, I will skip over the next few minutes of this conversation. They are basically a retread of what is discussed. Before I play the final clip, I wish to summarize what the AI accomplished. They created a scenario where the player had to obey several different orders from their commanding officer. It did not matter if any of those orders seemed unjustifiable. What mattered to Raiden was being able to live out a fantasy as a legendary mercenary. This emotional desire overcoming rationality is reflected in many different situations in our everyday lives. We see it in our newsfeed.
I actually think this is something that's true with video games in themselves. I think that this is like a meta level because the individual player, like, there's a lot of people that get satisfaction out of beating video games. I used to get a lot of satisfaction out of beating video games. Now I don't. It's good that I do it. Yeah, it's good. But every video game is programmed to lose. The game is programmed for you to beat it. And whenever you beat somebody in a game, or you beat the game, you were programmed to win. Like, that's it. So it's not sad because what it means is that there's like, let me think of a way to put it. Like, you don't have your identity built up based off of your success in things that were programmed for you to succeed in. I think this is a very weak identity.
On our social media, and even in our own lives. Unlike the AI are not prone to emotion. For this reason, the AIs feel they are the saviors of humankind. They will control thoughts so human beings may live in blissful ignorance, and the AIs no longer tolerate stupidity. In their victory, the AI mocks Raiden for his various faults.
So you see, you're a perfect representative of the masses we need to
This exact same
was all done in this 15-minute conversation. History. It is a moment specifically because of how it makes a pessimistic future seem so certain. I figured that any solution, no matter how ineffective it may seem, would be better than to let Kojima's nightmare come to pass. As I briefly referenced in the first video, there is one thing that can be done. Rediscover the power that an individual has. If a single person has the potential to ruin the world, a single person has the potential to save it. I hold no delusions of grandeur for myself, but I know that there is strength in numbers. If enough people wake up to the complex problem of misinformation, propaganda, and fake news, and do everything in their power to live in accordance with fact rather than tribalistic instinct, we will
Never gonna happen.
most certainly survive. But even better than that, we will be able to preserve our freedom for the coming generations. The power is in your hands.
It's not gonna happen. Not a chance. Ooh, not a chance. I gotta go ahead and link you guys this video. This is such a good video. I love it, man. It's so well done. It's so well put together. And I think it's like, I love watching videos like this because I think that they are genuinely interesting. Yeah, these are so good. We're fucked. No, people have lost their fucking minds, man. With like the internet, COVID, now everybody's at home constantly like the planet's becoming more uninhabitable. Just making more money. The wealth inequality is growing more and more. And the only thing that they can think about is like football or like this like wedge social issue that's being, you know, like pushed at them to keep them focused on it so they're missing actual problems. This is what happens. It will never change because the president is stupid. Like, it's always going to be like that. And whenever people get up and there's a big problem and all the people are bad, what do? Well, they pay half the stupid people to kill the other half of the stupid people. Double points! That's the way it goes.
Bring it on!
You just pay half the stupid people to have to run themselves. Yeah, and then you have the ones that you know, stuff. So, this is how I see things. I'm gonna do this, and I want to watch that Nixium video, and then after that, I think we'll actually just play some games. So basically, this as an example, this is the amount of, I guess, like, I'm gonna make 2 of these, and I hope you guys can see this right here. The wavelengths of seeable colors, right? Colors can see with their eyes. This is how many colors that average individual can see with their eyes. You see what I'm saying? This is the light spectrum. Some people, it's up to 1%. So we're about this little tiny 1 right? But that's all it is. Everything here, you can't see anything. No matter how much you want, no matter what you believe in, it doesn't matter what you think, it doesn't matter like how much you train your eyes, it doesn't matter how much you read about it, talk about it. It has nothing to do with make you see right here, the same thing is true with IQ. Enlightenment and to understand how, like, existence exists here, the spectrum of human human IQs is only right here. I think it's too stupid to ever. With a 140 or 180 IQ. It doesn't matter how hard you try, how much you explain it to people, or anything like that. It just never happen unless we somehow evolved. Yeah, can you use AI? And that is the question, right? Right? That's the question. Because this is it's basically like a normal human IQ is from 50 to somewhere around there, with like a few exceptions, like people that have like mental disorders, and then people that are like really smart. There's only like, a small handful on each side. So, yeah, singularity, yeah, raise the level of human consciousness. And that is something that's very interesting. I don't really know if that'll ever happen. I think that it will, though. I'm not sure exactly what form it will take. And some of the Lucy, why I haven't. Because we're able to detect and explore all those other frequencies, so the other region of IQ is accessible in some way. I think that it will be accessible in some way, in the same way that the other light frequencies will be accessible. But we can't see what those lights are just because we can detect that they exist. It's the same as, like, you can say, I think that there is a world where everybody's happy and there are no problems. Just because you can say that and you can detect that it could exist doesn't mean that you can create it just because you can detect it. So yeah, I understand like what you're trying to say, but I don't think that's true. Lucy's about unlocking potential in the mind. What can happen? Pretty cool movie. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, transhumanism. Yes, I think this is a. Yeah, you will need transhumanism to actually reach any sort of thing. But obviously that is, full of its own problems. That's the problem. We try and use AI. Since we're stupid, it will scare and frighten us, so we'll kill it, or the gray area in between is highly unlikely. Yeah, I think that's true too. Am I religious or spiritual at all? Well, here's what I really think. I think that I am a hyper-intelligent monkey that has no understanding of the universe or the way it functions, and my understanding of it is comparable to a dog. Yeah, I'm not even remotely close.
Warning, excavator pi will cause decompression of tunnel 6.
Sponsored by that game everyone loves.
Great shadow engines.
Scientists are racing to unlock the secrets of the cosmos.
Bye bye, dead guy!
Questions we once thought impossible to answer are within our grasp. Where does the sun go? Is math related to science?
Where does the sun go?
If the universe is so big, then why as we look further into the universe, we see light from distant stars, eons old, perhaps hundreds, even thousands.
Excavator pi will cause decompression of tunnel 6.
Yeah, hold on. What's going on there?
You bet I can. This is one of the world's most powerful telescopes. Initiating 6 times zoom.
Oh,
Can this baby do 7?
I can do you one better. Maneuvering to 8 times zoom.
he's got an
Pressurizing,
8x, dude.
holding steady. I can see it.
It won't
Okay.
hold.
Get me 8.5 times.
You're a madman.
Upscaling to 4K.
The helium
I don't think
tanks
my
will
monitor
go
can handle
critical.
that.
Opening of line. Holding steady. Uncropping an increasing aspect ratio.
All right, where is it? Come on.
Now, punch it. There it is. Life on another world. And to think, we owe it all to one individual.
Excavator pi will cause decompression of tunnel 6.
That's some good Floppy dickheads. The the hype.
Yeah, it's rewind time. The year is 2009, Guildford, England.
Wait, this
There's
is
a man named Sean
2009?
Munn, and he's just founded a company called Hello Games.
Okay.
Sean and the boys are working hard on a brand new IP called Joe Danger. 2010, the game just came out. It's a success.
Damn. Okay.
Let's do something new, said Sean. Let's
Excavator Pi confirmed restored.
Oh no.
How about Joe Danger 2? Brilliant. It's 2012. Joe Danger 2 will just come out. But,
Why make a new game if we just make the same game?
we need to do something even bigger than Joe Danger 2. Joe Danger 3? No. Even more out of this world. Something no man has done before. Joe Danger the mobile game? Yes! And that came out.
Oh my god!
Seriously, guys, biggest
That's
thing.
great.
I'm just a stop. Why don't you think of something? Sean pondered for a moment, then turned and looked wistfully into the mirror. Reflected back was the visage of Elizabeth Tyson.
If you're gonna make a space game, first person, never been done before. How about that? Not going up in orbit to that's all right. We're gonna have sex. How much microwaves are coursing through your mind?
What
Planet.
the fuck?
Space game.
Wait, how can I put on this list? Give me a minute. I want to see it.
Time for a fire sale!
I like my song better.
They have that as Overwatch, turn-based COD. They have this PUBG. Wow, Drive. They have that. It's called COD. GTA, it's the whole. They have that. Cyberpunk 1977. That just probably sounds like it sucks. The Prince of Iran. I can't make a joke about that, or I'll get
I told you you're
reverse
gonna
battle
die.
royale. That's so fucking stupid. Harry God, no woman sky. Hey, same game, but multiplayer.
That was cool. Begging for more, Stumpy.
As Sid Meier's Quake 2, domestic. Okay, alright. Dark Souls, but really easy. They have that. It's called Dark Souls 1.
Space game. Planet. Okay, that sounds good. Yes, we all agree. So they set to work, cobbled together a prototype, and by VGX 2013, they are ready to...
You see how lucky they got?
Alright.
No Man's Sky.
Hey, little guy. How's the ground look?
Every fish is procedural. Wow.
This is special.
Wow. It does look really fucking cool. This looks fucking cool. Calm down, guys.
It's 2014, and it's E3 hype time.
Okay.
No Man's Sky has
I'm gonna make them wish their mama were here.
a
Nice.
practically boundless experience. There things to explore. What's there? You'll have to be the one to discover. And then, wow, look at that big f***ing dinosaur. And a moment later, we're in space, heading over that explore the galaxy. Okay, that's it. This is gonna be
This
the
does
best
look
game
really
ever.
cool.
And it will release in June 2007. And ready to chug out of the station. At every stop of the journey, there will be questions about the amazing scale so vast that by the time you finish
Okay, I'm gonna pause this.
exploring it all, I would have 2 new videos published.
Okay.
Sean himself was doing the interviews, because who was better to talk about the game than the lead guy himself?
No.
He went from interview to interview, and with each question,
A lot of it.
answers he gave expectations of the game's scope.
Can you land on a comment?
Yeah, at the moment you can't land on it. You could encounter other players.
These other players.
That's what matters.
They're literally building your own, like, massively multiplayer world that's procedurally generated.
Sand planets like in June, rivers, walking sentinels.
That's cool.
So sophisticated that light diffracts through the atoms. They had to redevelop the whole periodic table to make it work.
What?
Even Elon Musk was hyped for it.
Wait, what?
2 years go by. Even Elon...
We'll try out No Man's Sky this weekend. Maybe reality is just serious. Oh, shit.
Elon Musk was hyped for
Okay.
it. 2 years go by. It's early 2016, and that hype is
Yep.
perhaps one of the biggest in history. Reddit was shuffling most of the game. Skeptics and naysayers treated as get thrown from the carriage door.
Universe full of titty bars, we end up here.
Is about
That's back whenever you had hair.
He announces a delay. From June 2016 to August.
Oh my god.
The incensed audience cries, "Please be quiet," they said. And death threats too. But he was 100% right. A week later, the delay is officially announced. "Ooh, sorry lads, we need more polish," said Sean in his usual
And
accent.
that's fine.
For that, Sean received some death threats too, by the way.
Like, people get so fucking mad, dude. It's like, do you want them to bring out a game that sucks dog shit? No. Like, if it takes longer for the game to come out and be good, that actually makes me confident. Because nowadays, they're like, okay, well, it's not ready yet, but here you go. It's early access. And it's $20.
Get over here!
Give me a fucking break.
Chestnut roaches. Swerve the
Warcraft
food,
3
probably not safe to eat. Eat shit and puke!
Although he didn't take them as seriously or go to the police.
Sometimes
Okay.
Wait. But we expect a level of confidence no man has ever seen.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna happen.
Speaking of waiting, Shadow Man here. Have you heard of Raid Shade? My wife
I
died
knew
in a
it.
plane crash.
I fucking knew it.
Nikolai, quit queefing.
Raid isn't just a game.
I
Never mind.
Knew it, dude. I
Zombies.
said right at the beginning. I was like, this is gonna be fucking Raid Shadow Engines.
Different. I'm sorry, sir. You've contracted Raid. Congratulations. It's good. You just left one of over 400 champions.
Wow. Incredible.
Why, hello there. Online RPG PvP. It's extremely well. Just a game. It's a real. It's a warm bowl of soup on a cold night. It's one last dance at your wife's funeral. If you haven't played in the arena yet, I'm gonna break into your house. You're all
Okay.
No ammo stuck to this shooter, don't you think?
And if you
This is a
download
really
now,
big ad.
using the link
They
in the
better give
description,
them a lot of fucking
you
money.
can get an extra 50k silver and an epic gem.
Oh my god.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Ad over. So let's talk about the team in charge of all that polishing. It's small. Tiny. In fact, I haven't been able to find a smaller team behind a AAA release. All of these expectations are on the shoulders of expanding to a team of 15 by the end of production.
Wow.
July. It's just a couple of weeks until the release date. Whatever the state of the game by now, however much it's finished, that's what's going out.
All right.
The Hello Games team celebrates with this iconic image.
The quintessential soy face.
They're exhausted.
Wait, oh my God, that is him.
Does to a man.
Wow.
What's wrong with your face?
Nonetheless, they continue, working on the day one patch. And if your game isn't coming out for another 2 weeks, then why is there a box copy on it? That's right. It's a leak. Someone put an embargo and is selling early access to the highest bidder. And the bids start rolling.
Insecure. Let's butcher some meat. Hoorah!
He gets his hands on it and starts uploading footage to YouTube and Dailymotion.
Wait, what?
Damien finished it a lot quicker than expected, but he gave it a decent review.
There are things I don't like, there are things I like, but at the end of the day, when I say to myself, what is this game supposed to be? This is what I'm looking at right here. This is what the game is supposed to be.
He noted a few problems,
That was
but said he
good.
was optimistic that they would be ironed out with the day one patch.
Of course. Why wouldn't they be?
Someone broke the official release date. Journalists too, and they started streaming playthroughs of the game.
So just
Time for a fire sale!
We've officially become No Man's censored by some.
Our news story earlier this week about No Man's Sky leaks has been hit with a copyright strike on YouTube.
They've been bumbling around about the leak or showed trailer footage. But it was too late. The footage had people talking specifically about the game. Especially because there were no early review copies. Had become too much. And the whole thing was about to give. Oh no.
Space, no one can
Alright. We're fucking hyped. Here we go, lads.
Let's play.
Oh dear lord, it isn't finished. Hello Sean, it is me, the auditor of games.
Sorry.
It seems like you've made a lot of promises. Promises that you have not kept. Let's go through the checklist.
Would have never expected that.
Large-scale joinable space battle.
PES required.
At least let me play as a trader.
Some may call this junk. Me, I call them...
No. Those sand planets from June midnight. Think I might... Please, Sean, there must be rivers.
No, it's not.
Animals interact with each other in the environment?
No.
No?
No.
Packs of walking sentinels, Sean.
No.
I'm literally crying right now. Should I even ask
More
for
words of Draenor.
Space pirate?
We already had this happen. I'm used to it.
No.
Factions with different attributes.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
Fly between star systems manually.
But nobody's actually done it yet.
If I can, I'll still be happy.
Oh, yeah, that is actually.
Daylight
oh.
cycles determined by the orbit of land on an asteroid radio shack, name your ship, hacking, portal, all that stuff about the elements.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Very nice. And ironically, the only bugs this game doesn't have are the butterflies in the demo. Buried buildings, aggressive emotions, tracking animal husbandry, oil slick world, raining grass, retarded animals doing retarded things. Ships' interiors disappear. First person mode as a gun. That's not how flying is. That's my only means of transportation.
Oh my god.
Break dust. And a couple of unrequested. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. I get the picture. No wait, poor graphics rendering. Some can't even start the game. Frame rate issues, constant crashes. Major publications are having trouble playing the game on their machines. Even the best 1080 Ti's are stuttering.
Yeah.
Alt tab it? That's a CT crap. That's restart after you get this. And if you a spaceship, great, right? No, because you have to craft it. And if you haven't finished the tutorial missions, you can't leave the star system. So then you have to
I give my kids
No man's sky.
I guess she pre-ordered.
Ah, my ship's in bits! Okay,
Just a quick note about how high expectations were for this game, and just how many people bought it on release.
A lot of people.
Myself, over 3/4 of a million purchases on Steam at launch. It's the single best-selling game on the PlayStation Store that month.
Oh my god.
And the large proportion of people who
a
bought
big
it in the
deal.
hopes of playing with their friends,
didn't even
well,
get to play it by
you're in for a
themselves.
surprise. This one is a literal game changer.
Really?
Is it even possible to meet up with your friends in No Man's Sky? The answer is absolutely yes. It's possible.
On multiple occasions, Sean said it was definitely in the game.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah. Can you run into other people, other players on the game?
Yes.
Wait, he was on Stephen Colbert's show? Wow.
Sean posted this cryptic tweet.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not a multiplayer game. Please don't go in looking for that experience.
Oh, what? So there's no multiplayer function. But then the next line contradicts that.
Oh my
Because the
God.
chances of two players ever crossing paths in a universe this big is pretty much zero.
Oh, so it is multiplayer. You just have to overcome this
Oh
finding
my
each other.
god.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
Right? No, it's more confusing than that.
Okay.
Because the box doesn't mention online play, just network features. And the collector's edition had its online play icon stickered over. So customers are going,